Good morning everyone. So students, in the previous class we discussed about the mobility, then relationship between the current density, conductivity and the resistivity. Okay. So today we will take the next part, that is the limitations of the Ohm's law. Yes. So students, basically we know that. What do you mean by the Ohm's law? That is the potential difference across the two ends of a conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through the conductor. Correct. So that is V is proportional to I, that only written here, and you can take I is equal to R into V. That is I is the current through the conductor and R will be the resistance or else the proportionality constant. Then V will be the potential difference across the two ends of a conductor. Okay. So see, this Ohm's law is applicable to the all the devices that I told you, because it is the simplest and the useful tool in our electronic circuits. But this Ohm's law is also having the some limitations. That means some drawbacks it also has. Then what are that? Right? So one by one we are going to discuss the limitations of the Ohm's law. Right? See, first one will be the Ohm's law is not applicable at the very low temperature and the very high temperature. See, if we want to do the practicals, then physical conditions are necessary, like a temperature, pressure, density. These are the some physical conditions that are very necessary for conducting the experiments. Right? So here, see, this Ohm's law is not applicable in the very low temperature and a very high temperature. Right? So here, at a particular temperature only, we can perform the Ohm's law. Other than that, we can't perform. That means in the low temperature or else in the high temperature, this Ohm's law will not work. It is also the one drawback of the Ohm's law. Then second one will be the materials and the devices which obeys the Ohm's law are called as the ohmic devices. What we call ohmic. Ohmic means the devices or the instruments which obey the Ohm's law. Right? For example, you can take here voltmeter and the ammeter. Right? So you already know about the voltmeter and the ammeter. See, what are that? Voltmeter is an instrument which measures the potential difference or else the voltage. Correct? Then current, that is ammeter. It is also the one instrument which measures the current at a very low amount. Like a ammeter range is how much? Like a milliammeter and the microammeter we are using. Milliammeter means at the range of how much? That is 10 to the power minus 3 ampere. That is the milliammeter it is. Then micro means how much? 10 to the power minus 6 ampere. That is microampere. Correct? So these are very small amount of the current that we are measuring with the help of the, that is, instrument. We called it as the ammeter. Okay. So here these are the devices which obey the Ohm's law. Those only we called it as the ohmic devices. Yes, here ohmic devices. For example, you can take here voltmeter and the ammeter as an example. Then see, these are those for which the relationship between the potential difference V and the current I is linear. Here, this is very important. See, these devices which perform, when we perform, we will get the graph there. That means we are taking the readings from that. And then after drawing the graph, we will get the linear curve. That is like this. See, it is only the linear curve for the ohmic devices. That means which obeys the Ohm's law. See, linear means how the current increases, potential difference increases. How the current decreases, potential difference also goes on decreasing. Correct? That means linear it is. Yes, it is a non-linear. It is a linear curve. Correct? If this increases, of course, increases. If the voltage start to decrease, the current will also start to decrease. Correct. So take it as a linear graph. Then students, see here I is the linear, that is the I is equal to RV. We know that this is the Ohm's law. From this I can write like this, V by I is equal to R, where R will be the constant resistance. See, from the Ohm's law holds good for the metallic conductors, which the VI graph is the linear as shown in the figure A. That means for the metallic conductors, metals, you can take the example aluminium or else the copper here. For the aluminium or copper conductors, this graph will be the linear. Okay, this is also the one. In the limitations, it will also come. It is the second one. Then let's move to the third one. That is for the materials such as the semiconductors and the ionic conductors, such as the electrolytes and the plasma, where VI graph will be the non-linear. See, non-linear, how it will come? It's come like this. That means sometimes, see, it is a linear. It is in a one particular direction. Correct? But see, this one, this graph, it is non-linear. The straight line we are not getting here. Yes, something here, curve is present. Yes, here it will turns like this. That means how the voltage increases, current increases. But at a particular point, then what will happen? The voltage start to decrease, current start to increase, or else current start to decrease, voltage will start to increase. From this, what will happen? It will not give the linear curve or else the straight line. It will not give. It start to give the non-linear curve. Yes. See. Then those are examples. You can take it as the semiconductors and the ionic conductors. See, electrolytes means what? Electrolytic solution. In that we will get the two ions, positive and the negative ions, right? In that, then the semiconductors means what? These are the conductors which comes in between the conductors and the insulators. Just here, just assume this is the conductor and this is the insulator. Here the semiconductors will come. That means they will not good as a conductors and not bad as a insulator for the current purpose. Yes, that means they are having the conductivity in between the conductors and the insulators. That means they comes middle of the conductors and the insulators. Yes, see, then the devices using these materials, their proportionality of the VI does not hold true. That means the VI proportion, that is voltage current proportionality is how here, that is not holds good to the Ohm's law. That means they are not holds good to the Ohm's law. From that we are getting the non-linear curve. That is like this. Yes, it is not a straight line. It will be the like this. That means something it is like a sometimes it increases, sometimes it decreases. It is not a straight line. Okay. Then the devices which doesn't obey the Ohm's law are called as a non-ohmic devices. Yes. See, here the devices obeys the Ohm's law, but here the devices which doesn't obey the Ohm's law, they are called as a non-ohmic devices. So here you can take the example, that is the semiconductors and the ionic conductors, such as the electrolytes and the plasma. Yes. See, then students, this is called as a non-ohmic devices. So you can take the examples here, diode also and triode also. Yes. See, about this also you will study in this year. See, these are the some examples for the non-ohmic devices. See, what they will do then? See, they will conduct the that is current only in a one direction. Yes, that's why they will call it as a unilateral devices. what they will call unilateral devices. That means they conduct the current only in a one direction. That means either it may be in a forward direction or else it may be in the backward direction, right? So they are called as a unilateral devices, like a diode or else the triode. Yes. So these are the non-ohmic devices. From this we are not getting the linear curve. Yes. This is the another limitation of the Ohm's law, right? So this is the first one, that where it is about the Ohm's law, which depends upon the physical conditions like a temperature. That is, in the low case, low temperature, and in the high temperature, the Ohm's law doesn't work. And then the only the ohmic devices which works on the Ohm's law. It is also the one limitation. Yes. Here we took the example voltmeter and the ammeter. Then next one will be the non-ohmic devices. For example, semiconductors and the ionic conductors. Yes. Then you can take the example diode and the triode also. Yes. Because they conduct direct current in a only one direction. Right. So these are the devices which doesn't obey the Ohm's law. That's why they call it as a non-ohmic devices. This is the third limitation of the Ohm's law. Yes. So students, after discussing the three limitations, the next one will be the fourth one, that is, in devices such as the semiconductor diodes, the relation between the V and I that depends upon the sign of V. That means, see the semiconductor diodes. Yes, see, these are also the some instruments like a semiconductor diodes. In that, V and I relation that will depends upon the sign of V. Yes, sign of V means whether V will be the positive or else V will be the negative. Right? On that, these instruments will depend. That means, just take a graph here. See here, the current will be in the positive direction and the voltage also will in the, that is, positive direction. So here also we are getting the curve, that is non-linear curve. Right? In the previous limitation we discussed, for the semiconductor diodes we are getting the non-linear curve. Correct? Like a non-ohmic devices these are. That's why we are getting the non-linear curve. Right? So here we are getting the non-linear curve. Correct? See, if the voltage is negative, then we are getting the non-linear curve at the bottom side also. That means here I is having the negative charge, like a negative charge, and he is also having the negative charge. Right? So here V and I relation that depends upon the sign of the voltage. That means whether it is positive V plus, we are getting the curve, and for the V minus also we are getting the curve here. Okay, this is the third limitation of the fourth limitation of the Ohm's law. Then students, that is last one. In the certain materials such as the GaAs, that means gallium arsenide. Yes, Ga is the gallium, As is nothing but the arsenide. Right? So when we combine the materials, we constitute the LEDs. Right? So here these gallium arsenide we used in the LED. Yes, LED we will say commonly. That means light emitting diodes. Yes, see, these LEDs we are using for the decoration purpose also. Maybe you can see for the trees they will rotate the LED bulbs. Yes, they with the help of the wires they attach the LEDs to that and they use for the decoration the LED bulbs. The white LED bulbs, red, green, then blue, correct? And then for the practicals purpose also we are using the LEDs, right? Here they given the gallium arsenide LED. Yes, see, that is the relation between the V and I is not unique. Yes, see That's why these are not having the unique relation. Here I wrote not unique, because for the one value of V, we are for the one value of the current, we are getting the more number of the values of V. Just consider here I and V. Yes, see here. Just assume here 1 volt, right? And here 1 ampere we are getting. Here again 1 volt. Here 2 ampere we are getting. See, maybe in the some variations will happen while doing the procedures. Like errors will occur, and sometimes the accuracy will maybe false. That time this will happen. Yes, that may be in the case of the LED bulbs. That's why curve we are getting like this. Yes, for the one value of V, we are getting the more values of the same current. There is a more than one value of V for the same current. Sorry, here the current will be the same. The voltage we are getting different. See, here also 1 ampere, here also 1 ampere, but voltage we are getting 2 volt, 3 volt, 4 volt. Like this, for one value of the current, we are getting the different values of the voltage, right? That's why you can see here. See, for the current it is here. Sometimes it becomes at the peak, then again it starts to decrease, and again it starts to come at the this position, and again it will start to increase, right? See here, here it is increasing at this point, but here it is decreasing at this point. See, value of the I is same, but the value of the V will be the changing, right? See, here also V is present, consider it as a 1 volt, right? Here the current is same, here also the current is same for this, but the voltage is here just taken as a 3 volt, right? So the curve is not unique. That's why this is also the one limitation of the Ohm's law. Okay, so today we discussed about the limitations of the Ohm's law. Mainly we are getting the 5 limitations. Then students, I told you the semiconductors. So what are these semiconductors then? You can take here. See, semiconductors. See, just assume it is a conductor. What it is? Conductor, and it is taken as a insulator. Here, semiconductors will come. Semiconductors will come. That means in between the conductors and the insulators, the semiconductors will come, right? Because of the resistivity or else conductivity you can take. Yes, based on the conductivity or else the resistivity, we place the semiconductors in between the conductors and the insulators, right? You can take the example here, conductivity. Conductivity means what? The conduction of the current. Yes, the flowing of the current, that constitute the current. The flowing of the electrons, that constitute the current. Yes, if the current is passing through a material, then that is the conductance. Correct. So here the conductors, of course we know that conductors is having the more amount of the conductivity. So easily the current will pass. But in the insulator, the conductivity is very low. That's why here the current will not pass. Correct? But in the semiconductor, it is at a particular temperature, it will act as a conductor, and in a particular temperature, it will act as a insulator. So only some amount of the conductance we can see in the semiconductors. That means only the some amount of the current will flows through this semiconductors, right? So in the next class we will take about much more about the semiconductors. Okay, thank you everyone.